Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Humble Pie. I am so fired up that we have Nadya Okamoto here to talk about so many things. Today's pod is going to be about how personal lows lead to professional highs. And so let's dig right into it.
Amazing.
One of the things I love about you is I feel like you were really courageous about mental health disclosure long before I was. And it's on a topic I know less about, the journey that you've had. Tell me how you got confident. I feel like I'm chicken shit. Like
What?
I talked about what I was dealing with after I had built something.
Yeah.
And you talked about it before and during and while. And just unapologetic and unafraid about what disclosing mental health challenges would mean for you. Where did that courage come from?
I think the courage came from fear. I think it was a lot of my mental health challenges in the past, whether it be depression or anxiety, left me feeling really isolated. And so I think I kind of learned early on as I was, you could call it networking, public speaking, as I started sort of my entrepreneurial journey, that sharing more of my personal story was like a bid for connection. And I think that I was so hungry for connection and to feel less alone. And every time I opened up a bit more, I was just met with other people who said, me too, going through the same thing and feeling that like there was something I was going through that was relatable and that made me feel less alone. Mm-hmm. So I actually don't think in any way it came from a place of like, let me be courageous to speak up. It was like, I'm so lonely and I feel so alone and afraid. I have nothing to lose and only things to gain by sharing.
And what's the first, I guess if we call that like a bid for connection.
Yeah.
What's the first bid that you made? And was that to a friend or was that through socials? Or like, do you remember that moment? Like, take me back a little bit.
I mean, so I started my career, I guess you could call it, when I was 16 and was organizing specifically around period poverty. So around trying to get people to be passionate about talking about periods, collecting products to donate. And naturally, that meant literally admitting to people that I had a period, right? Which doesn't sound like a radical thing, but it is still kind of like a radical thing, that you go into a room to a stranger and you say like, hey, I get a period. And so do other people, like, even because it's stigmatized, it's like this kind of Band-Aid ripoff thing. And so I think inherently the space that I'm working in, like it does make people vulnerable pretty immediately. And then I think, as every founder does, you have to learn how to tell people like why you're passionate about this. And I think that for me, like my passion for gender equality and supporting women does come from such a personal place. I think I'm also an external processor. And so I had no issue telling people like, this is what I'm going through. And I think I maybe to a fault sometimes learned that I could kind of use my personal story as a way to engage people, right? Like, so much of my job working in nonprofits was fundraising. And so I would literally go to people and be like, I was going through a hard time. My family was housing unstable, but it was a privilege check for me that I didn't have to use trash to take care of my periods. Now check your privilege as someone who's never had to grapple with housing or financial instability. And so I think for me, like my personal story from a very early age felt like a tool that I just unabashedly used.
And how did you make the transition from the not-for-profit to deciding to launch August? And what was that like?
That was, I think, the most terrifying switch up for me.
Really?
Because, okay, so I grew up in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Like total liberal blue bubble, and it was a joke at my high school when alums would come back they would give this talk at assemblies about like, this is what college is like and what to expect. They would joke like, oh, you go to college outside of Portland and you realize like Republicans exist. And I say that
There's pickup trucks?
Yeah,
no
like,
way.
Like,
I just saw those on TV.
No, like that was kind of the culture I grew up in where like the norm was to be very, very progressive, which I am proudly, but also to be very anti-capitalist. Like to me, I grew up surrounded by, if people worked at companies, which they did, like growing up in Portland, most people, like they work at Nike and Adidas, like they're headquartered there. But it's all with this mindset of like, we're doing it either because this is the company that's different or we're changing the world. And so when I wanted to start a nonprofit, I think there was no like question about it. I actually was most terrified to announce that I was starting a VC-backed company. And I did actually have friendships lost over it.
Really?
Yes, because I was going to like the dark side.
Wow.
It's like this
what kinds of friends are those?
No, but I'm telling you, like it was I look back at a lot of those friends that I had were like, they grew up in very, very wealthy families, but refused to work in startups because it like represented something bad. And I'm like, but you benefited from that. But totally. Like, I actually think that for me and where the culture that I came from, it was more stigmatized to make this jump than anything else. So I was very nervous about it. But honestly, it was 6 years in the nonprofit world, you get stuck in the nonprofit industrial complex. I just didn't have the language to describe it. Your job is full-time fundraising and begging for-profit companies and private donors for money so you can actually do the work, right? Yep. Like when I was running this nonprofit, the major period care brands were my biggest donors, which came with a lot of different some things I wasn't allowed to say, couldn't critique, had to be very positive about all of them. And I think the more and more I learned about some of these companies, the more eager I wanted to just change the industry. And I think it was also realizing like, wow, I have like no capital power in this. I'm just beholden. If I want to start a campaign or a rally or a program, I have to go fundraise money for it. And obviously I'm on the startup side, I'm fucking fundraising, but it's different, you know, and it's with the goal of you never have to fundraise ever again. But I think that I just got sick of working in nonprofit development and I wanted to just focus on the work and create an engine. Like this is a commodity product. People are buying the product. So we're doing impact with every purchase that we see. So I just wanted a more sustainable model for impact.
Yeah. And when you think about those people that like didn't believe in this, now that you've done it, do you think building something for a profit is an easier way in some paradoxical sense to make a difference societally than a not-for-profit? Or is that nuance to this category, or who knows?
I definitely think it's easier because you just have more authority. There, obviously, like capital, even in impact, capital moves the needle. And you can try to argue otherwise, but like even if you think, okay, we change culture, how do you change culture? You get eyeballs and attention. How do you do that? Either social capital or, you know, in the world of social media marketing, like it's something you invest in. So I think that for me, it's either you have to do that. You just have to go for it. And in nonprofits, going for it does require always thinking about fundraising and like opening the doors for people to give you money out of like the goodness of their heart, essentially. And I think working in nonprofits for a while made me probably more cynical than I should be about like, it is much harder to get someone to give you money because it's good for the world or the cause. In startups, they give you money because you're going to make them richer or that's what they want. And that's a much easier ask. And so, I think honestly working in nonprofit and politics, it made me very driven and more passionate about social enterprise, but I think it made me a lot more cynical for sure.
Wait, so do we need nonprofits for some things or not necessarily? Like,
no, I mean, I think nonprofits are so necessary. I would separate nonprofit from grassroots movement. Like nonprofit is very much a tax label. I think we need them, but I think that we have to simultaneously acknowledge like the nonprofit industrial complex as like it is a scapegoat for capitalism.
I was at one last night, you know, raising the thing.
The paddles,
and and it just was like, ugh, what do you mean scapegoat?
Like it makes the big companies be able to give 501c3 donations, get tax deduction, and be like, we're doing something good for the world. Like, I do think that, you know, and I think that in many ways that's necessary to have. But it's one piece of the puzzle, right? And I don't think it should be a standalone for like companies then not doing their own work to build impact into their revenue models.
Yeah, totally. And tell me a little bit about how you've done that with August or how you designed it.
I mean, everything from August from the very beginning was like, how do we stand for changing culture with the brand, right? So like purely existing for us, I think is our element of changing conversation about periods. But I mean, baking impact into like why we exist. Like it's not even a strategy. It's like if someone buys a product, we donate, you know, like we've donated about 500,000 products to date so far. And at the same time, like everything that we do around the tampon tax. So we created this tampon tax back coalition with other brands. So if you get charged the tax on period products, which still exists in 18 states, considering them non-essential goods, but Rogaine and Viagra are considered medical necessities. So that tax.
Wait, is that? That's
If you get charged that tax, you can text us a picture of your receipt and we'll Venmo you back for it. We've brought a lot of our, you know, quote unquote competitors to do the same. But I think for us, it was like, any opportunity we could to do impact or contribute to supporting organizations, whether it be through donations or, even small things like 1% for the planet and climate neutrality, like just opting into whatever we possibly can there.
Yeah. And when you built this movement and as you built your own TikTok and Instagram world, did you ever start to feel like, I don't want to be this well known? Like, I don't want to carry this. Does that ever come up for you? Or were you just, even still, like, is it exciting to grow your ability to?
Well, I think it's pure excitement in this moment. I always say, like, social media and having a platform is such a gift in this world, especially in entrepreneurship and advocacy, because at least in my lane of entrepreneurship, specifically with CPG, right? Like, raising brand awareness in an attention economy, like, is building a platform. And so, like, for me, having 6 million followers across channels, like, is a giant tool, right?
Yeah.
And it's opened so many doors. At the same time, having a platform means that you win publicly, you also lose publicly.
Yeah.
Naturally, you don't get to that size of platform without having a ton of haters.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're posting so real time, you sometimes regret your digital footprint,
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, there are absolutely cons to it. Social media has been like, I literally went to rehab because I had a mental health breakdown in 2020 and it was completely related to social media, like very much related to social media and experiencing accountability / cancel culture, like, online at such a big scale that had, like, very real world repercussions.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I'm always weighing the cost benefit of having a platform. And I think the benefits just outweigh the costs every time.
Tell us about the breakdown.
Oh, so many. Well, I feel like I came into my career at the height of girl boss culture. Like, 2014 is when I was 16 starting in this. And, like, every role model I had was about, like, put on your pantsuit, get in there, act like a man, don't sleep, work 10 times harder than anyone else. And that is exactly what I did. And in high school, I think I always shared very publicly. Like, I remember talking about, like, struggling with self-harm and, like, cutting myself on stage in high school while I was
So you started that kind of disclosure back then?
Very early on. But
Which is incredible. Like, I don't...
But I also remember sharing it, like, while it was still happening. And I think that can be a dangerous thing. Like, I actually think if I knew what I knew now, and I would tell my younger self maybe to not talk about it publicly until I've, like, figured it out for myself.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I think the one thing I never disclosed was, like, how tired I was. Because I think I felt that the brand image of this girl boss that I needed to represent was, like, I'm unstoppable, I'm not tired, I can handle it all. And I think it does relate to, like, we're running a nonprofit, which is I was a teenager asking for donations. Yeah. And so if someone's going to write me a check, they need to think that, like, I can fucking handle it and that I'm doing school, I'm doing all these things, and I'm not going to have a breakdown. Yeah. And so I think that for me, as much as I shared about depression and anxiety and self-harm, like, it was from the lens of, but I am handling it and I have it all under control. Yeah. And I think that for me, like, I look back at high school and college, I was just so tired, like, sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night. I was diagnosed insomniac, but not really allowed to take meds. So I was not sleeping, but then every few months was passing out from exhaustion, being wheeled away to the hospital. And the nurses all knew my name and just knew to hook me up to an IV and say, we've run all the tests, you're just exhausted. Like, you need to take a break.
And why weren't you allowed to take meds?
My mom was, and I think still is a bit not. It was just like SSRIs, antidepressants. Okay. Like, my mom was born in the U.S. She's second generation, depending on how you look at it. But she's still Tiger Balm mom, And
do you still feel that way about psychiatric medication?
Oh, no. I'm, like, dosed.
Okay.
And I love it.
Okay.
And it's game-changing.
All right.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Is Mom going to be listening?
No. I think she knows, but it always makes her like,
dosed.
But what about, like, yoga? And I'm like, yes. But also,
as well. It can be a both and, right? It can be yoga and...
It's a both and I have a lot of issues with how like psychiatric meds are handled in this country. Like it's either too hard to get them or way too easy. But
whoa, where do I get the easy ones?
No, but it's like it's too easy. Like I've had to like really bring myself off my dosage because it's
really?
Yeah.
You like self-decide that?
I've been self-deciding, and I've done a lot of content about this because I'm like I have every time I meet with my psychiatrist, she says, "Have you felt sad in the last couple of weeks?" I'm like, "Yes." Yeah, at some point in the last 2 weeks, I felt sad.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to bump up 25 milligrams? No.
Wow,
like
that's.
And I've met with so many psychiatrists, and it's like that in every single one.
Yeah.
And so I've totally had to self-decide. I actually just did an interview, and I've been getting so many emails about it because I talked about this in an article for the Washington Street Journal, or the Wall Street Journal, not Washington. And they've been trying to do more conversation about this because I think that they're seeing that the world of SSRIs has become so popularized from influencers. And I'm totally a part of that, which is why I feel like also responsibility to be very upfront with people. Like, I'm all about my SSRIs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't want to be on them forever. And here's why.
Yeah. That's cool. And if you ever see me, by the way, and I'm like, Nadya, great news, I'm off my meds. Please, like, call my wife and call 911. With bipolar 1, like, maybe someone will figure it out. But
you need to be on.
I don't. People are, this kind of concept for me in the beginning was like, how do I get off my meds? Right now, I'm like, I don't want to get off my meds.
Yeah.
Tell me about the bottoming out. When you think about some of the harder moments you've had in life, was that 2020 breakdown that you talked about due to social media? Is that the low point, or has there been something lower? And like, how did you get through that thing?
I think I started like my whole passion career from a low point.
Yeah.
And then built up into something, found myself through work to get me out of that, and then lost that, which is how I got this diagnosis of borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What does that mean? Or, tell us about how old were you? And
well, I was in rehab 2020, there for 2 months. Took, very much everything's under lock and key. You can't take
But it was like phone rehab, or it was
everything. It was like I was in there with like addiction treatment. People that are addicted to sex, addicted to hard drugs, doing addiction treatment. They were like, "You're addicted to work." And I remember having to do group therapy for like 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And people who were like addicted to drugs were like, "Oh, shut the fuck up! Like you're addicted to work, okay?" Like it was a lot. But when I say
where was this, by the way?
In California.
Okay.
But like when I say I was like addicted to work, like I didn't poop for weeks because I would think like who has time? The time it could take me to take a shit, I could like send 3 emails. Like that's literally how I thought. Like I was like addicted to work. So, but all that to say, like I at 16, oh my God, that was some dark times. See, like even then, but this is also think of the age of like student activism, like Malala, the Parkland students. Like there were so many opportunities, and like I was and am always genuine about periods, but I think I recognize that I was very much in the right place at the right time. Like a lot of visibility from day one because I was like a young teenager doing something. Yeah, and I just leaned so hard into that, and I think that my motivations were a mix of genuine passion for this cause, right? Like 40 states at the time had the tampon tax, leading cause of absenteeism. Like I still have so much passion.
Leading cause of absenteeism from school?
Yeah, one of the leading causes of absenteeism is period poverty and period pain. And like still so passionate. And from a place of, I feel like a total piece of shit. I hate my life and I want to kill myself unless I'm working on this thing I'm passionate about. Like when you struggle with suicidal ideation and you find something that's like, this is why I'm here. Like I'm literally here on this earth to do this.
Should I feel bad that for you that was period poverty and pain, and for me that was pants? Having done the suicidal ideation thing, now I'm feeling like maybe the pants shouldn't have pulled me out of that, right?
No.
But I keep going.
No, but I think for me, like that's what it was. So like I think of that as like a whole different low point. And like I mean low point, like my family was going through some fucked up shit, like I lost contact with my dad. He was like Child Protective Services came in and told me that he was abusive, and like I didn't know. Like it was. Did
your mom agree with that?
Yeah, and it felt very out of my control at the time. And then I think I was grappling with that, and then I was in this abusive relationship where I was just getting like physically beat, and then going on TED Talk stages to talk about female empowerment.
When you were like 16?
When I was 16, yeah. Like I was just, I think for me, like behind the scenes, I I just kept putting myself in situations where I was very hurt,
Yeah.
physically, emotionally, and taken advantage of. And then I found my voice and my confidence and like my reason for living in
And
work.
you just latched onto that.
I just latched on it.
And what is it for folks that don't know? Like, what is borderline?
Easiest way to describe it, so technically it's 9 symptoms. And if
Okay.
you have those 7 out of the 9,
Okay.
you are diagnosed with BPD.
Okay.
And I think that probably everyone can relate to some of it. It's
Mhm.
like one is like black and white thinking, like it's hard for you to see nuance in things.
Mhm.
One is like total fear of abandonment. One is self-harm. One is like kind of uncontrollable, unexpected anger. That's one of the ones I did not have.
Mhm.
But then I think really it is at your core, you feel like everything is your fault. You have an extreme sense of imposter syndrome and worthlessness.
Mhm.
And you have some addictive tendencies sometimes where and like kind of prone to codependent relationships because I think you're so
Yeah.
desperate for feeling worthy.
Mhm.
And I found my crutch was work, was building this thing that I could believe in that felt bigger than me, which is why I think my next low point was then feeling like I lost all of that, was just like
Yeah.
feeling misunderstood and then not feeling like I could do the work I wanted to do. And then,
Yeah.
so when you find your worth through work and then you don't have it, it's like, well, I'm back to nothing.
And this was during the detox.
Yeah.
And how did the detox start? Like, what precipitated you going into it from like,
Oh, my family checked me in. You know, like
Okay.
it wasn't like I think I need help thing. Like it was like, I think everyone around me was like, well, not my co-founder, we were living together at the time.
yeah.
And I was with my boyfriend, now fiance,
Yeah.
but boyfriend at the time.
Whoa, congrats, by
Thank
the way.
you.
I didn't know about that.
Yes, I'm engaged. And I don't know, you just get to a low point where I didn't want to get out of bed, wasn't eating, wasn't sleeping. I was like mute, just staring at walls.
And
they're
how
like-
did they do the intervention? Like, who led it and what did they do? Like,
I
what
don't-
advice would you give to like a family that needs to help somebody? Like, how'd
I
that
think
go
I was
down?
like so lost. I like did not give a fuck. I was so I didn't know what to do with myself. So I think I was so desperate for someone to be like, to just send me away. Like I was just
And
like,
was it Tiger Mom or was someone else? Or?
I think it was a mix of everybody. It was
Okay.
like something else needs to change. Like something needs to change. Like someone, like I just needed help. And I just think I was resigned at the time. I was like, I don't care.
You were like John Mulaney, like everyone showed up. I don't know if you saw his bit
No.
about his coke problem. Oh, it's crazy. He like talks about in one of his comic specials around how like 10 people came to him.
Oh.
Except for him, it's all these really famous comics.
Oh my God.
And so when you watch his special about it, because he had a big
Yeah.
cocaine problem, and same thing, you go in, you don't have your phone. So then
They take everything. They take my makeup remover because it could be alcohol, nail clippers.
Yep.
Oh my God, they take everything.
No, I mean, I remember. I kept
Yeah.
asking my sister if they would bring me a book, and like she's like, only a soft cover book. And I was like, you think I'm gonna like kill myself with a hardcover book?
Yeah, I couldn't have shoelaces. No shoelaces. But you know what's so crazy about this? And I actually think it's taught me so much about like navigating conflict as a founder.
Mhm.
I went to rehab at the height of the pandemic in the summer of 2020.
Yeah.
And usually when you go to rehab, there are some activities. Like you can
Yeah.
go to the movie. They'll take you on a fucking walk.
Yeah.
No. Height of the pandemic. We could not fucking leave. And I was there with one woman who is from the South, conservative, there for like postpartum depression, 3 men, all staunch Trump supporters who thought the Me Too movement was a hoax and big conspiracy theorists. And we had to have every meal together and see the newspaper headlines come in about the 2020 presidential election. And the fights we got into
Yeah.
over politics, over that dinner table were fucking crazy.
And now you're all best friends.
Well, we don't stay in touch anymore.
But you did?
Well, we did at the time, but we did become really good friends because I think
Yeah.
you literally do hours of individual therapy and then hours of group therapy. You get to know people like their deepest traumas. And I think it kind of taught me, like the first couple weeks were fucking hard, right? It was like I would say something about being sexually assaulted and they'd be like, where's the proof? You know, like they would say that.
Oh.
And we had to really work through that. But I think that for me, it was like I had to go through every trigger and learn through it. And I do think it gave me a lot of empathy because before rehab, I was like, anybody who like can vote for that side,
Yeah.
I really othered. Like I didn't think of them in like their whole humanity.
Yeah.
But I think when you're like in group therapy with them, you really learned like this is a person, they have their reasons and what are our common ground. And I think about that a lot in my founder journey.
I think about this a lot too for our country.
Yeah.
Which is like, we just got to talk more.
Yeah.
How does it apply to a founder journey? Like with your team, you mean? Like understanding opposing points of view? Or
I think it's understanding opposing points of view, but also just like, I always have in mind, like, you know, you can have your work self and your personal self. Mm-hmm. And I believe that like wholeheartedly. And I think I learn every day more and more to draw boundaries between like my work self and my personal self, which is very hard when being a content creator. But
it's also kind of a hot take too, right? Because
yeah.
everyone's like, bring your whole self to work. And it's like...
And I don't think it's healthiest to bring your whole self to work, but I also don't think you can separate it. And so I think I always think of that.
How much of myself should I bring to work? Like 80% or 40%?
I think that there's a difference between like being yourself at work and then like bringing all of your stuff to work.
Whoa, I like that.
You know what I mean?
What's the difference between being and bringing yourself?
Like for example, like I think that I used to trauma dump in professional settings, in meetings. And like at a certain point, like that's not productive for anybody. And like I want to know about people's lives and your coworkers' lives. Yeah. But like you don't need to know everything, you know? And I think that it's good to have that difference.
You know, it's something that I care about a lot is like disclosure. Yeah. You know, you have something going on for you and sharing it is actually where you started. It's a way to connect. Yeah. But disclosure doesn't mean to everyone and everything and all at once.
And it's not always productive.
Yeah. So how do you think about, like, how do I start? Like if I'm listening to this and I haven't been in high school, like, you know, telling everyone something, like, where do you start? Like, what's a safe place to start?
I think that, well, okay, you know what? Did you do the touchy-feely Leaders in Tech thing?
Yeah. Okay. I did it at Stanford.
Okay, yeah.
You did that with Carol?
Yeah, I did that with Carol.
Whoa, we got to talk about Carol Robbins.
So I did the Leaders in Tech program. And so I think I now have new language around it. I think I probably learned a lot from that, but she talks a lot about like disclosure. I think that for me, she gave me the language to understand before I disclose something, think about like why I'm disclosing it, like what is the intent of it, and like how could it impact the other person, you know? And I think that that's something I did not always think about. It was just about disclosure. And I kind of like maybe was a little competitive about it. Like I wanted to always push to disclose more or push other people to disclose out of their comfort zone. Yeah. And I think getting to a point where you like respect that people just don't want to talk about that sometimes. Right. And I think actually, especially in today's day and age, sometimes you just don't want to, you need your boundaries.
Yeah. One thing that blows my mind about you is the willingness to talk about borderline. It's like, it's rare and it's out there and it's something that we have in our family. And if I'm listening to this and I'm either aware or I look up those 9 things and I'm like, wait, 6 out of 9, 8 out of 9, 9 out of 9. What's like my first step? Like, what do I do about it?
I think you have to get help. And I think that's what I like. The thing about BPD is it is manageable. I think as many mental health challenges are with the right support, right? Yeah. When I tell people that I got diagnosed with BPD, I think the most common response is like people being like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry you have that. And I found that so interesting because when I learned I had BPD, I felt so much joy and relief.
You told me this once. It really inspired me.
Because you just grow up feeling like I'm crazy. There's something wrong with me. Yeah. And you're so angry at yourself and you don't know how to fix it. Yeah. And then you get a diagnosis and with BPD, like dialectical behavioral therapy is literally a modality of therapy that was created for people with BPD.
Yeah, like, and what is that? Can you explain that to someone?
It's basically self-talk, like dialectical. It's learning to reason with yourself because I think BPD, your natural thought is to catastrophize, to like 0 to 100 real quick, right? Yeah. Like I think I got a lot of this from my mom where it's like I would get a B in school and it'd be like, you will work at McDonald's and be homeless for the rest of your life. Like that, my brain like would go from one thing to the next and it would feel very overwhelming. Dialectical behavioral therapy gives you the tools and I thought it was stupid at first, you know, to be like, okay, like, is this the only way to look through it, to look at it? What are other ways you could interpret this? Like, it just gives you some other process, like self-talk to process things that way.
Yeah.
And so once I got the diagnosis, it was like I had a pathway to getting better, to feeling better,
Yeah.
and to managing it.
And it's been 5 years.
And it's been 5 years.
And how often do you go to therapy, or was it a lot at first?
It was a lot at first.
What's a lot?
Like 2-3 times a week.
Okay.
And then it became once a week.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like once every other week, you know? But it's something that I think I'll always have in my life. But I also think that therapy also encouraged me to find not just talk therapy, right? Like I'm super into coaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
At times when I need it, trying things like
getting coaching.
Yeah, like Leaders in Tech,
Mm-hmm.
I think was really helpful for me. I think business, like leadership coaching, executive coaching was so helpful for me.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, especially with BPD, when you like don't know what to think, it's helpful to have someone just tell you what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
And therapists won't tell you to do that.
They won't.
Coach as well.
What's an example of something that a coach told you to do where you were like, oh, let me try that, and it made a big difference for you?
Like, I think life-changing was like learn to love money and be unashamed of loving money. And growing up from Portland, that felt so scary. And also not coming from money. It was like an unhealthy thing to think about, to talk about. Yeah. And then I was like, fuck, like I love having money. I love making money. I like buying things. My happiness is derived in some way, shape, or form from making money. Yeah. And learning to afford things. It's freedom. Like I love workout classes. In New York, that's $40 a fucking workout. Yeah. Like I like doing that once to twice. Like my dream days are 2 workouts a day. Yeah. Getting my fucking $7 coffee, paying $50 a day for my, you know, dog walker, and having a professional cleaner come once a week. That's $300. Like, but that was a huge unlock for me. And in the founder world, it's like I used to have anxiety over negotiating terms. Like August is the official period partner of some good sports teams. And I used to be nervous about those. And now I'm like, this is the value we bring.
Which sports teams?
We're the official period partner of the Connecticut Sun, WNBA team, of USA Track and Field.
Marina Mabry.
But I think even discussions like that with sports team where you're thinking about here's the value we bring. Yeah. And they're assigning dollar amounts to your value. Right. And you're assigning it. I think like I work through a lot of my money trauma in coaching.
I love this coach that said that.
Because think about it, in therapy, they're like, where does that come from? What did your father tell you about money? And coach is like, tell that voice to shut the fuck up. You like making money. What makes you happy? How much money do you want to make? Why do you think that it's bad? Yeah. Like, yeah, I think I learned a lot in that. Yeah.
One thing that's amazing to me about your journey is the relationships that you talk about from that period, that like crucible period of hellish stuff that you went through. Your dad, abusive relationship. Now you have a fiance. Like you went on a journey of figuring out how to partner too. Yeah. Like maybe, like I used to feel like I was unpartnerable. Like if someone really knew about my bipolar shit and they knew like what the roller coaster that I went through, like they wouldn't want to be with me. Or I used to think like, I shouldn't have kids because I don't want to pass this down to someone. How did you, like, tell us about some steps in that journey, or like, you know, how did you
finding love?
Yeah, like how did you tell us about that? Tell us about the relationship and the romantic side of how you developed that to go from where you were with this horrible relationship. You know, we can get into that if you want, or don't have to get into it. And now this amazing news that I didn't even know.
Well, I feel like it's probably maybe similar to you, because I feel like in your book, you talked about going through a bit of a breakdown too when you were in your relationship, right? Yeah, I think that when I went to rehab, I was 6 months into this new relationship with this guy, Henry, who I'm now engaged to. And fascinating because he's from Geneva, Switzerland. If you think mental health is stigmatized in the US, try Geneva fucking Switzerland. Like when I tell you, it's been a learning curve, I think, for both of us. And he's been the absolute best. But at the beginning, it was really like, I remember like I would get so sad and he would just say like, stop. Like there's no reason to be sad. And like, that is like the worst thing you can tell someone who's really sad, you know? But I think I was in a similar place. Like, it was too good to be true. I wanted to sabotage it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the other shoe is going to drop.
Yeah.
Something bad is going to happen. And then I went to rehab and I called him, broke up with him, and he just kept coming back. I got this diagnosis and I was like, this is your time to leave. Like, I need to work on this. And instead he like read several books about like loving someone with BPD, which, by the way, there's so many books out there for people, like with people who have personality disorders.
Yeah.
And he just kept showing up. And I think every day, he was just like every day showed up in a way that like made me love myself more.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I think that was like such a gift. And I think that also I do have so much more optimism and love now, because like anytime I go through something hard now, I just think about what I went through back then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, things are fucking fine.
Totally.
Like, I have a roof over my head.
Totally.
I have my family with me.
When they take the shoelaces away.
Yeah.
And then you get them back.
Yeah, you're like, I
don't ever want to lose my shoelaces again.
But that's what I'm saying is like, I look back at all of that and I'm like, in the moment, it sucked. Like, it felt like the worst. Like, how am I ever going to crawl out of this hole?
Yeah. And
you crawl out of it, and it's just, like, the most amazing feeling in the world. And it makes you cherish everything else. And I think that I don't think I have a lot of friends. I think that's one thing I didn't recover. Is, like, when I went through that hard time, I, like, lost a lot of people who I think you realize were friends with you maybe for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I think that's maybe one thing that I'm still scarred by. But other things, like my relationship with Henry, which is continuing to evolve, like I feel so healed from. Like, my relationship with my family is getting better and better every day.
And dad too?
No contact.
Yeah.
Disowned by my grandparents. I have 3 living grandparents.
By his
disowned
parents?
By my mom's parents.
Oh no.
Because of my, like, what I am. Like, you know, and at least in Chinese culture, it's like you don't dishonor your family by talking about your mental health and trauma online. Yeah. So I'm disowned by them, and then I'm not in contact with my paternal grandmother. But I think, like, I still...
You now are?
No, I'm not.
You're not? Okay.
The family that I do have, I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, of course. And so what about now? Like, what's next? Like, what are you proud of that you're doing right now? What's hard? Like, the past we got, right?
The past we got. I think that right now, like, I feel very fortunate that, like, the job that I'm doing right now is what I would be doing even if I wasn't making money from it, right? Yeah. Like, I'm still very much on my founder salary, you know? So it's like, I think that's a huge misconception from people who, like, don't work in startups. Yeah. Is they're like, oh, you've raised this capital, like, you must be rolling in it. And I'm like, no, like, that's not where it went, you know? But I think for me, like, I feel thankful every day. Like, I wake up and I get to work on period stuff, which is what I was doing as a volunteer for 3 years. Like, I didn't even know this could be a real job. Like, I'm so passionate about what I do. Even if I wasn't paid for it, I would still do it. That's such joy. And I make silly little videos and I make money from it. Like, that is such a joy. And I feel, like, very thankful for that. And I think I always try to, like, really root myself in that. But I also think August is at an interesting chapter of, like, growth, right? Which is, like, I feel like someone recently told me on the phone, like, the metaphor of startups is you are flying a plane while building the plane, right? And it could go down at any moment. You're always trying to figure out how to improve the plane. I feel like we finally have a plane, but we just have to figure out, like, how to make it fly higher, if that makes sense. And I think we are at that point, right? Like, we have been at Target, we're at Whole Foods, we're at H-E-B. Like, we have some national retail. We're adding some bigger national retail. And I feel like we're at this point of, like, inflection. Yeah. And that's, like, terrifying. Yeah. And, like, so exciting. Yeah. So I think I'm kind of at that point.
Let's do a little thing for the people that are trying to build brands. Yeah. Because I feel like I misled everyone about this idea of, like, the best way to build a brand is just through e-commerce. Yeah. Like, just D2C, just do it yourself.
Well, at the time it probably was. Now it's not.
Maybe at the time. Yeah. And now it's like, well, wait a second. Maybe there's a different way to do it. Tell us about your journey with distribution. Like, how do you decide, like, how much effort to put into your own e-commerce versus some of these, you know, Target, Whole Foods sounds amazing.
Margin. Okay. No, I mean, I think that a lot of it is, well, I think direct to consumer was huge when we were starting, like 2019, 2020 was like the golden era of direct to consumer. And the pandemic definitely played a role in that.
Yeah.
But then I think why I got into TikTok, by the way, was we launched when iOS 14 changes had just gone into effect, which meant that the whole world of paid advertising got a lot more expensive, a lot more unknown.
Can you just explain that about iOS 14?
Well, so it's like, you know, the easiest way to put it is like companies used to be able to see a lot more analytics on if they pay for advertising, they can understand what you're clicking on, what you're seeing, so they can bid on things a little bit more strategically.
And then Apple changed the rules.
Yeah, so they don't see that data. Okay. So great for customer protection, bad for business, because then they're like, where am I spending money and why? But things got really expensive. It was also just, I mean, the danger of capitalism. It's like, it feels sometimes like the people who have money win, right? Because you're in this just bidding for who can spend the most on advertising, which is just a dangerous spiral. Yeah. And so one of the reasons I got onto TikTok was we had raised this pre-seed round, and it was like the way we get our seed round preempted is if we have a historically low cost of acquisition, we have month-over-month crazy growth. So it's like the only way to do that is how do you grow, get people to know about you and buy the product, but spend like no money on it. So we don't want to hire influencers. Someone who's compensated with fucking equity needs to become an influencer. Yeah. As soon as fucking possible. Yeah. And I just forced myself to become a TikToker.
And you already had some following though at that point.
Not on TikTok. I was at 0 on TikTok.
Damn. And on Instagram you were?
I think I had like 11,000.
Okay.
No, maybe like 30.
And did you have then like a game plan in mind, or was it spaghetti at the wall? We're going to figure this out.
It was spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, tell us about that. So like
I would literally sit in front of my journal with a tally marker and tally mark. I would try to get to 80 to 100 videos a day.
Yeah, I heard you say this once.
And I don't do that anymore, but you can see it. Like once I went back and I counted, and there are like maybe a week where I posted 100 a day. And all the other days I just posted.
This was after you'd solved your workaholic problems. You're like, I came out of detox. I saw the light. I was doing 100 videos a day.
Like, okay, the way I describe it is like I still love working, and every waking hour I'm working or I'm working out. Yeah. Or with my dogs. Yeah. Or my sisters.
Or Henry.
Yeah. Sometimes. I need to be better about that. But, and then I'm sleeping. Like, to me, I just needed to sleep. And that's my non-negotiable.
Sleep. That is the non-negotiable.
Yeah. Everything else
like the medicine we don't want to cut back on.
No.
You know, when you be like, you know what? I'm getting 8 hours, but I want to titrate that down.
8 hours is not enough for me. I need to sleep 10 to 12 hours a night.
That's nice.
I slept 8 hours last night. I feel exhausted. I've had 4 cups of, I need 10 hours of sleep. But then I can work every other waking hour.
So you would do 100 videos at the wall.
Yes. And I mean
4 would go somewhere.
Everything. Like I would try, okay, like let me do a TikTok dance. Let me post my period blood. Let me post my vaginal discharge and explain to people like what this slimy slug is in my underwear. Like I just wanted to try everything, a little in your face, maybe not so in your face. And then I would just look at what did well and then keep leaning into that. So I think early on I learned, okay, when I talk about sustainability of our products, that works, right? If I tell people most of your maxi pads have 3 to 5 plastic bags each, ours do not, that would work better than saying we buy one, give one. Like people were not interested in impact as a messaging and from early on.
Yeah. Are they more interested now, or maybe even not necessarily?
I think not as much as sustainability.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would try, if I post my period blood, that goes viral. Does it convert to sales? Sometimes, not always. And I don't post my period blood as much because it just doesn't perform as much as it used to. I believe in it. So if I need to show my period blood, I will. But like at the beginning, it was like, whoa, this is this is working. Like it was a bit of controversy, but like I had 1 million followers after 6 months. Like it was like I just leaned so hard into that. And then the other thing was education. It was like if I explained what a period was, it went viral. If I explained that you have a pee hole and a period hole, that went viral. If I said raise your hand if you're a grown woman and you didn't know you have 3 holes down there, that would go viral. Like I just looked at what did viral, and I just kept leaning into those and adjusting as it didn't work. If it did work, yeah.
And do you still do that?
Yes.
But now we're at...
Like I ran the New York City Marathon a couple days ago. Thank you. Oh, by the way, talk about a healthy form of self-harm. I'm like so into marathon running.
This was not your first rodeo.
7th marathon this year. Like I'm deep into it. Like I love it.
It's incredible.
I love it. And I am officially a runfluencer. So most of my income is from being a runner. It's so funny.
Who with?
You know, whoever I'm running for.
Okay.
I ran for 3 brands this on Sunday, like I'm just
Run for
piling
the
it
brands.
on, run, and I just love it. Anyways, but I think I like on that day I like made 20 videos, and I just like at the end I like sit and I'm like, why did this work? Why did this one work?
Yeah.
Next race I do, I need to do this. Oh, marathons work. I need to keep running marathons.
Yeah.
Like I think of it in that way.
I want to talk to you about sleep.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
it's
yeah,
still
yeah,
like, I think if someone's hearing this, it's like she still does a fuckload of stuff. Like
Yes.
it's like a lot. But sleep, you are like, I need 10 to 12. How do I sleep more? If I'm a person that knows I need more sleep and I'm not getting enough,
Well, when I was
how do I start the journey of like getting better sleep?
I'm not the right person to ask because I don't think my answer is the healthiest.
But you're the one here.
Okay, so my
let's hear it.
answer is I went to rehab. I was not sleeping,
Mhm.
or I was sleeping too much.
Okay.
And they force you on a sleep schedule.
Uh-huh.
They medicate you until you're asleep, and then they
Yes.
wake you up when you need to wake up.
I remember this.
And like, but for me, I remember hating that.
Mm-hmm.
And you get so much trazodone, but you can't keep your eye, like they literally medicate you to sleep.
Yeah.
But then you sleep, and after 3 weeks, I actually remember this really vividly. I think I was there 3 weeks, and I caught myself smiling, like walking from one appointment to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember feeling like, whoa, like I've never like smiled for like no reason, you know, like I just really vividly remember this. Like I had my little crochet because I would crochet in all my appointments. And I just remember being like catching myself smiling. And then I was like, what's changed? Like I'm sleeping and I'm in rehab and I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And I think I just learned to be like, whoa, I feel like really good. Like I love this.
Yeah.
This is fucking great.
And then once you got released back into the wild.
I was still on trazodone.
Like, okay. So
I kept it up. I'm not on
brings
it
you
anymore.
down to sleep.
Yeah. Well, because I
Now-
had extreme PTSD.
Yeah.
So I had nightmares, like,
I see.
but I wanted to get off of trazodone because there are some crazy side effects, like
Yeah.
lucid
I saw White
dreams.
Lotus.
Yes, lucid dreams. Like I would have nightmares that I wouldn't wake up from, but that I would really stick with me. Crazy sweating, like, but I think it just taught me to learn how to love sleep. And then I honestly just for me, I suddenly cold turkey went off it, and I was fine. I just could go to sleep because I think a lot of my sleep inability to sleep was feeling anxiety of like, this is a waste of time. And then trazodone taught me that sleep is not a waste of time. It's like the best thing ever. So then I released that. So then I was just like ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I do think maybe it's the unhealthy angle of this. And sometimes a therapist will call me out. Like, your reason for loving sleep is still this obsession with productivity.
I think that's okay.
That's what I say too. I'm like,
yeah.
at the end of the day,
therapist.
I'm like, at the
I'm
end of the
not
day,
your
I'm
coach,
sleeping.
but I think I need that.
Thanks,
I think I
Andy.
need that to be true.
My
'cause
therapist
it's
will be
true
like,
for
that's
me.
not. I'm like, Andy told me it's okay.
Friends, you mentioned not having as many or losing some. Is that something do you want more friends? And what would that look like? And
No, I think that I'm scared. I have a lot of anxiety over like socializing
yeah.
with peers.
Yes.
A lot of anxiety.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? I'm sure.
Like my worst nightmare is like going to like a house party and like needing to mingle. And my middle sister,
even if you went with a friend,
yeah, no.
you still don't like just new people, small
Don't
talk.
like it.
Not interesting, right?
No,
It does kind of suck, right?
not interesting.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Ooh.
I just don't know what to say.
Huh.
I don't know what they think. I don't know if they've heard about me before. What they've heard. Like but what's interesting is as soon as I think of it as like, oh, it's a creator event or like a business event, I have no anxiety.
And what if it was a dinner? Like, what if I was like, hey, these two fill in the blank people, and it's going to be more intimate, but it's like two new people and
No,
someone.
I would have a lot of anxiety.
Okay. Got
I probably wouldn't flake. That'd be the difference.
Okay.
But I would have anxiety for sure.
Okay. Well, I'm about to go have dinner with my mother-in-law. If you want to come, I have anxiety about that.
But I also don't get energy from that. I'm very introverted.
I
I can
get it.
be very outgoing, but like that's what I always people are always like, wow, you seem like extrovert. I'm like, no. I can be outgoing. I can seem extroverted. But at the end of the day, I just want to be alone. Being a social media TikToker is like, I'm alone with my fucking phone. It's the least social thing you could do.
But you're aware of it.
Yes. The irony of this all is I just started a run club with my sister. We have like 200 strangers RSVP'd to our run club on this Sunday.
That's pretty cool.
We should partner with Pi on it, to be honest.
I like this idea. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but you said it.
Yeah, Chicago Pie. But to me, that's like also I get very nervous for. But having my sister next to me, who's like the biggest fucking extrovert social butterfly I've ever met,
Yeah.
It's like I would not be able to do it without her.
Okay. So you and your sister can have dinner with my mother-in-law.
She would carry the conversation.
Perfect. At some point, they're going to cut us off.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you. So you love money. You're unapologetic about it. And you believe in like movements and grassroots.
Yes.
So New York has a new mayor.
Oh, yeah.
How are you feeling about that today?
So excited.
You feel
like,
good?
I feel good. I think I was kind of cautiously optimistic because my heart's been broken by election news over the last decade.
Yeah.
I also used to be much more in politics than I am now.
Yeah.
I ran for office in 2017. I thought I was like going to do politics.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, I was like, I am not meant for this. It's a lot of fundraising.
It's a lot of mingling.
A lot of
It's actually like a meld of your worst
Of my
nightmares.
worst
Is this what
nightmares.
your lucid dream nightmares are about?
No.
You have to fundraise and you
Yes.
have to do small talk all the time.
Yes. No, literally, I remember seeing a video of Zohar Mamdani like at a grocery store, just like so like enveloped in this conversation with a stranger. And I was like, that is why he's meant to be mayor.
Yeah.
Like that could not be me. Like,
Yeah.
oh no. But
You feel
yeah,
good.
I'm just excited about it. But again, I think like going back to the power of money is like politics taught me to fucking realize that money runs everything because we measure electability in this country by how much money someone has raised.
Mm-hmm.
And like that is fucking crazy and sad, but it is the reality. And like even if you think about Mamdani's campaign, like, yeah, it was a grassroots movement campaign. And what's the number one ask beyond voting is fucking donate. Like that is how they need you to show up. That's, you know, and I don't necessarily think that's the ideal system.
Yeah.
But it's the system that we live in. So then it's like, how do you even have enough social power to change that? It is money.
I think you're so special. I want to do this. I want you to be like the Elon Musk of Humble Pie, and I want one day to be like, it's Nadia's 8th trip here.
That's us on the special bus.
You have so much courage, and I have my hot take is like I think women need to be rich to like change the world. We need like lots of rich women. This is my thing. This is why I'm such a big believer in what my wife is doing, what my sister's doing as entrepreneurs. So I'm just glad you love money because we need you to be able to just take over whatever that looks like.
Thank you. Well, I hope more money's in our future because, you know, sometimes it's not a great time to be a CPG founder.
It's a terrible time.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother episode.
A whole nother conversation.
But I feel
we're in the age of AI.
If anyone's going to figure this out, it's for sure going to be you.
Yeah. I just keep telling myself like, I don't think the AI fad is going to pass, but like we have had potential investors be like, do you have an AI component? Because then I'm in. If not, I'm not in. I'm like, fuck. Like, but we just need to get through this.
You just need AI powered tampons.
And I'm also like, y'all, like people need periods no matter what they're going through. Like AI is not going to stop our period right now. Like, but yeah, I think I'm in kind of in a survival mode.
As my wife says, robots can't even plug in something into an electric outlet. Like it's 2025 and they can't like plug something in. So I think we got time.
I don't know. It's a scary time, but an exciting time.
Thanks, Nadya.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Everyone, thanks for joining Humble Pie. You can check us out at Humble Pie Pod on Instagram. You can follow us on Spotify and Apple. And what's the best way for people to connect with you?
At Nadya Okamoto everywhere. And August is it'saugust.co.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Of course.